So we just talked about all the different things that might hatch from eggs, right? Not just birds, but there's also amphibians, reptiles, fish, insects, arachnids, all sorts of things hatch from eggs, right? Right now, though, we're going to go back to the egg that we're most familiar with, and that's probably the chicken egg. Okay? And you guys notice that a chicken egg has a hard shell, right? Why does it have a hard shell? It protects what's on the inside. So I can kind of bounce this around a little bit and it doesn't get broken. Okay, so the shell is hard and it helps to protect it. I'm going to show you something special though right now. I'm going to show you what we call a naked egg, an egg that no longer has its shell on it. So this is a chicken egg, and all that's happened is I soaked that chicken egg in vinegar for a few days. I'll tell you more about that later. But this egg used to look just like this. So you'll notice a couple things about it. You'll notice that it is bigger because it absorbed a little bit of the water from the vinegar and that made it bigger. But you'll also notice that that white shell is gone. And now it just has a squishy membrane. Look at that. If I squeeze this, it doesn't squish. But look, when I squeeze this, it's all squishy. Okay? And it's not hard anymore. So this, hear that when I tap it on the table? This one, if I tap it on the table, doesn't make a noise at all. Okay? It's squishy. So on the inside of the eggshell, there's a membrane. And what happened is that we dissolved this shell, and now we're left with this membrane, which is kind of feels a little bit like plastic or rubber. It just has a little bit more give than the eggshell has. And one thing that means is it changes how the egg acts. This egg, if I drop it just a little bit onto a soft surface, it doesn't break. But what happens if I drop it from a high surface onto a hard surface? Did it crack? My egg cracked. We're going to take advantage of that later because we're going to do the egg drop challenge. I want to see if you can drop this egg without breaking it. But this one I broke, so I'm going to crack it all the way open and we're going to see what's on the inside. There's the egg white, and there's the egg yolk. Okay. I want to show you something about this egg. I want to shine a light on it so you can see that it's translucent. And do you see that there's the yolk in there? If I roll my egg around, that yolk moves inside the egg white, inside of my egg. Okay. So if I take this egg and I drop it, do you think it's going to break like the other one did? I just drop it in my hand, it bounces, right? What happens if I drop it on a hard surface, do you think? If I drop it on this plate, is it going to break right away, or do you think maybe it'll bounce? I don't know, we're going to find out together. So if we drop it, it goes, oh, it didn't bounce, it splatted. Sometimes it bounces and sometimes it splats. But you can see on the inside that there's the membrane. That's the kind of sort of soft shell that was surrounding the egg. And on the inside of the egg, there's the egg white and there's the egg yolk. So the inside of this egg still has the white and the yolk, just like the other one did, but it was inside of the membrane instead of being inside the shell and the membrane together. So if you want to make a naked egg, because that seems like a fun experiment to you, what you're going to do is take a glass, fill the glass with vinegar. I used apple cider vinegar because that's what I had, but you can use any kind of vinegar, like a white distilled vinegar works really well. We're going to fill the container, the cup full of vinegar. Then we're going to put an egg in it, so a brand new whole egg that's never been cracked. We're going to put that egg inside of there, and we leave that egg in for a day or so. And as soon as you put that egg in, you'll see it kind of gets all fizzy on the outside. The fizz is a chemical reaction. Just like when we mixed the baking soda and vinegar together in last class, and they reacted. The egg is base like baking soda. It's calcium carbonate. And the vinegar is acetic acid. And that base and that acid go psss, and they fizz and they bubble when they interact, okay? So when you first put the egg in, you're gonna see a bunch of fizz and bubble in about 24 hours if you look at it. So you leave it sitting on the counter for 24 hours. Then when you look at it, you're gonna notice that there's fuzzy, gooky foam stuff on top of the vinegar. What we wanna do is pour out that vinegar, rinse off the egg, put that egg back in the cup with new vinegar, and then it'll continue to react. And it continues to react. If I leave it sitting on my counter for 2 or 3 days and I change the vinegar when I need to, eventually all of that shell is going to dissolve and I'm just going to have a membrane left and I'll have a naked egg that I can play with and discover. So I hope you enjoyed this fun chemistry experiment because it's learning about chemical reactions in a lot of different ways.